Congratulations, the Tampa Bay Lightning are back in the playoffs for the ninth straight year. And thanks to the Toronto Maple Leafs being eliminated a couple days before this, nine remains the longest current streak in the NHL. Tied, it's the Lightning are tied with the Avalanche with that great distinction. But yeah, so the Bolts are back in the playoffs. They clinched with when they clinched before they took the ice when the Red Wings lost in regulation to the New York Rangers. And but we know Tampa Bay's recent history. That streak started all the way back in the 17-18 season. We were defeated in that 7-game conference final, and then we all know what happened the following year: 62 wins, 128 points, swept by Columbus. Of course, there's proof that the best revenge is living well. The following year, they won the Stanley Cup. Then they did it again. And then they almost did it again. So yeah, 3 straight final appearances. But after that, not much of anything in the playoffs. They were eliminated by, of all teams, the Maple Leafs. And then 4 to beat them out the last 2 years. So yeah, and that led myself to believing, well, maybe they're out of juice. I mean, when you have runs like that, when you have good runs like that, like they had, you're bound to run out of gas. So there's no shame in that. But funny thing happened. Not only are they not out of gas, but they basically put their foot on the gas and not letting go. Especially Nikita Kucherov, he's getting points like the yin yang. He's in the race. He's in the race with McDavid McKinnon for the Ross Trophy, which would be his 3rd in a row if he gets it. But Tampa, they're pretty strong. They have a pretty good record. They're in first place, barely in the division. It's a close division, but it's gonna be amazing seeing Tampa Bay in there again. So as I said before, the Red Wings loss put the Lightning into this year's playoffs. They weren't the only team who got in as a result. After 15 years of waiting and a lot of contemplating, they are in the show. Whoa, 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 the Stanley Cup playoffs shuffle off to Buffalo. And you'll forgive me if I'm a little, number one, off key, but number two, a little bit on the emotional side. 15 years. That's how long it's been. The longest drought, not only in the NHL, but in sports. They had to share that horrible dishonor with the NFL's New York Jets. Okay? A lot happened. A lot happened since the last time the Sabres made the playoffs. The Atlanta Thrashers moved to Winnipeg, became Jets 2.0. The Avalanche drafted Gabriel Landeskog. About a year or so later, we also drafted this guy named Nathan McKinnon. Um, the divisions were realigned. It's now 4 divisions again, 4 bunched up divisions. The Sabres replaced the Atlanta division. Uh, other other good players were drafted. Um, Edmonton Oilers drafted Connor McDavid, and of course in that same draft, the Sabres themselves drafted Jack Eichel. The Maple Leafs drafted Austin Matthews. The Sabres themselves drafted this kid named Rasmus Dahlin. A lot of things happened. Vegas got a team. Seattle got a team. Salt Lake City got a team. A lot of things happened since 2011, but we know what didn't happen? No playoffs for Buffalo. Well, Stanley Cup playoffs for Buffalo. That didn't happen until now. Because that same result in the Rangers game that put the Lightning in finally ended the drought for the Buffalo Sabres. And when the Sabres were kind of winning games left and right, it wasn't a matter of if the drought was going to end, it was when. It was when. And it was going to, and it looked like it was going to end. It was definitely going to end. And they ended it. The drought is over. And much like Tampa, their playoff drought ended before they took the ice against Washington. So the Sabres are in. Uh, and they're in this tight race with Tampa and Atlantic. Sabres could win the division. They haven't won a division title in longer than that. This is their first playoff appearance in 15 years. They're looking for their first division title in 17. It's been a minute. Okay, and Buffalo, I'm happy for them. I'm very happy for them. It's finally over. The drought is finally over, and they're in the playoffs. As I said before, the Stanley Cup playoffs shuffle off to Buffalo. So, congratulations to the Lightning. Congratulations to the Sabres. And of course, I'll be next time I'm on here. It will be a weekly recap, and if there are any clinchings from this, if there are any other clinchings later in the season, of course I'll talk about it here. But again, congratulations, Bolts. Congratulations, Sabres.